What is up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new video brought to you by a Russian citizen that was born in Russia. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, to not miss out any of the future updates. First of all, before we get into the video, I wanted to tell you that it seems like I was right about the nuclear threat coming out of Russia. It looks like it's gonna be Cold War 3 going around the place, and I have talked about this in the previous video, which you guys can actually go ahead and check out after you watch this video. This is the news that came out today. Reuters claim that for the first time since the 1990s, Russia may conduct nuclear tests in response to Ukraine's permission to use long-range missiles to strike inside the Russian territories. So analysts of this publication from Reuters said that they will probably are going to be testing out nuclear weapons somewhere in the Far East, but I really hope that they don't get any ideas to do any nuclear testing anywhere close to the Kursk region, because from all the stuff that we have seen, it seems like something like that can happen. And I would not be surprised whatsoever. But we're, once again, just like I read in history books when I was a kid and going to school in Ireland, we are actually right now in midst of Cold War. But this is the second Cold War because everybody started talking about nuclear weapons, about nuclear testing, and this is just unbelievable. Are we going to have a second Cuban Missile Crisis again? What is it? What is going to happen? This is the question I'm asking myself, and what do you guys think? Please tell me in the comment section below, and I would really appreciate to hear your thoughts on this situation. But what is really interesting is what Medvedev has said, and you know the guy from my videos, he is just out of his mind. Some people say he's a big alcoholic. Some people say that he might be taking some sort of substances. But what I can tell you is that he just spills out whatever is inside of his mind and tells it to everybody else. This is what he said. The situation in the Kursk region can be considered a formal prerequisite for a Russian nuclear strike, but Russia is being patient. That is what Medvedev said. And he also said that a nuclear conflict is really not needed by anyone. It is a very bad story with very difficult outcome. That is why the decision to use nuclear weapons has not been made so far. Although, frankly speaking, there are formal prerequisites for this, understandable to the entire world community and consistent with our doctrine of nuclear deterrence. The same Kursk, for example, but Russia is being patient. After all, it is obvious that a nuclear response is an extreme, difficult decision with irreversible consequences. Well, it seems like we are actually heading in for really tough times. When you got government officials in Russia talking about nuclear strikes, we in most cases, a lot of people are saying that nothing will happen, but inside of me, I got this feeling that they're probably going to be starting to do some nuclear tests, just like North Korea does, to show the capitalist America and the capitalist Europe that Russia actually holds nuclear missiles that can fly anywhere in the world and take down whatever they need. Just like North Korea does nearly every single day. You type in North Korea and you see Kim Jong-un just launching rockets like it's some sort of a game. Now let's get to another topic. I just thought that it's great that some of the things that I say actually come to life. Well, you know what? I would have loved that I would predict a government change in Russia and that we would actually have a democratic leader inside of Russia. But that is the only thing that I've been saying that still has not happened. But obviously, we will have to see what Europe and the United States has to say about Ukraine using the long-range missiles inside of Russia. But a lot of people are actually saying that it's already been agreed that they are allowed to do this. Anyways, let's get to our favorite topic, the biggest Russian propagandist that ever was. Now, he actually started to ask, is everything going to plan because the Ukrainian Nazis have invaded the Kursk region? And I'm not even kidding, guys. He actually said Nazis. So any Ukrainian soldier, the Russian propaganda will call a Nazi because, you know, Russia is one of those countries that celebrates the victory in the Second World War every single year, and it's a big thing where everybody walks around the streets with photos of their great-grandparents and stuff like that. You got parades, military parades, and all that stuff. So the easiest way to trigger people's minds about the baddies, which are clearly not because they're defending their homeland, is to call them Nazists. So that way they could think, oh yeah, you know what? Nazi guys were really bad, and those guys are also Nazi as well. But let's actually check out this video.
We say that everything is going according to plan. Sorry. Nazi troops invaded the territory of the Russian Federation in the Kursk province. We had no such plan. Not only that, thanks to heroism of our people, we managed to stop them. They were rushing to capture Kursk nuclear power plant. Did it work? But that's what they were striving for. And then when there are other things, but if we say now that everything is going according to plan, then when they succeed, then what? We say that the plan did work or what? No, wait a minute. This is different evening.
So, yeah, this is the video. We could see that the biggest Russian propagandist is saying that it was Ukrainians' military goal was to capture the nuclear plant inside of Kursk region. And his biggest question was, how is everything going to plan? And this is basically the question probably to the president of the Russian Federation, because he's the only person who always says that everything is going to plan. You know what? Kursk invasion, it's going to plan. This explosion over here, it's going to plan, you know? It feels like they're going to be trying to say that, yes, we let the Ukrainians go inside of the Kursk region. That is what they're probably going to be trying to tell the people. They're going to be saying, oh, it's a trap that we set up for them. But anyways, my question is that how did this guy not get sentenced for discrediting the Russian army? Because he is saying that how did the Russian army let the Ukrainian soldiers inside of Kursk region? Any normal person would probably get a sentence for this. I'm just surprised that this guy is not getting asked questions about the comments he's been making on television. Well, you know what? It seems like they're trying to have the propagandists make it feel that they actually can debate with the government. You know, give an illusion that there's freedom of speech inside of Russia. Because when you have the biggest propagandist speaking out about the problems inside Russia and that there's literally a Ukrainian army inside of Russia, although Russia is the one who attacked Ukraine and is supposed to be there, and at the same time it is supposedly one of the biggest superpowers in the world. And how did this happen? This is very interesting. But the answer to this question is very simple. Vladimir Putin's plan with a so-called special military operation was over the day he started it, because I'm pretty sure the guy has absolutely no idea at what his end plan actually is. I'm pretty sure he just wants to have the history books write about him. Probably the only reason. Let's get to the next topic. In Russia, there are concrete shelters installed in major cities in Russia, and that is done because you could run over to them and hide from any bombings, any drones, any missiles. But if we check out this photo, do you guys really think that this thing can actually save you even from a tiny drone? I really don't think that this can actually help you out. This thing looks like, what is this? It looks like a cardboard box that you'd be hiding in during rain. Because during rain, cardboard just falls apart and you're not going to be safe from rain. How is anybody going to be safe in one of those concrete shelters if a rocket hits somewhere close to it. I'm pretty sure even the shrapnel from the explosion will probably pierce those walls. It does not look safe at all whatsoever. And I'm actually surprised that there's not like gazillions of bunkers all around Russia from the Cold War and stuff like that. But then I remembered when I was in Russia, I actually went to a bunker and they were telling us a story. It was like a historical trip. You know, me and Evelina went over to one of them and it was really interesting to learn about bunkers. The workers of this bunker museum told me that there are a lot of bunkers in Russia, but those bunkers are made for scientists, military, emergency personnel. And I'm like, so how do you save your own citizens when there is somebody wants to nuke our country or somebody wants to shoot a bunch of missiles into it? They just say, you know what, we evacuate them. But how can you evacuate them if you don't know when the rocket is going to be flying? So basically, the real bunkers are made for the elites and not for the ordinary citizens to go and save their lives. Total obliteration. Absolutely crazy. This just shows you how Russia is. And there are many bunkers, but they're just not made for the Russian citizens. The only place that you could probably say is a good place to hide is the subway stations. But subway stations, you don't have subway in Kursk. You don't have subway in Rostov-on-Don. I don't think so anyway. So, yeah. And funnily enough, those shelters, or I call them a concrete box, it's a horrible idea, but a lot of people actually urinate in them and use them as public toilets now. So imagine you're running away from, for your life, and you run into one of them and you slip on somebody's feces and break your head. I mean, like, come on, what the heck is going on? First of all, that thing is not going to save you. Second of all, you run into a literal public toilet because people think it's a good idea to take a good old crap inside one of those boxes and urinate all over the walls. So that is the reality inside Russia, and this is a big sign that the rockets are probably going to be, unfortunately, flying inside of Russia, which will, unfortunately, hurt a lot of civilians because, the air defense systems, they're made so that they divert the rockets, and in a lot of cases, those rockets can be diverted into civilian infrastructure. So I really feel sorry for those people, but I think that this is just unbelievable what is going on. And I just feel really sad for, Ukrainians and for the Russian people as well, because it's ordinary people who are suffering from this and dying from this. I really hope that this war will end soon and a miracle happens, that all of this comes to an end. So let's just all hope that something good will happen. Anyways, guys, to keep this video really interesting, I got another video translated for you guys because you seem to enjoy a lot of the translations, and I thought it's a good idea to spice up this video a little bit just for you guys. So we're going to be listening to a translated, intercepted call of a Russian soldier from the far east of Russia who is, I'm presuming, is calling his wife from the battle zone inside Ukraine.
Our commander ran away from home for the third time, earned a medal for himself, and we as the second platoon have nothing. He doesn't like Buryats. Holy shit, what the fuck difference does it make? They put you in charge, you bitch. Have to curse them and curse them. Only condoms. We're running along the first line here, right? Along the first line. I took 200 meters of deal. Send me back and forth. Well, bitch, some kind of case is starting. Where can I run from all of this, huh? Nowhere. Listen, they're saying the Kursk Oblast was given away. Yeah. Ahmad fucked off. He was standing here too. Fuck, where the fuck are they? Fuck their asses. Fuck off, fuck off. Ahmad, he says, is a strong man. What the fuck strength? Fucking cowards. Well, don't say they can do it here. The fuck, only they're bending their fingers. Where the fuck is Putin looking? Who the fuck knows? They're sending people to their fucking death. It's total madhouse. In general, to hell. All the ordinary people who are against this war, fucking hell, I don't care soldiers or not, would gather. Yes, even in the army, the soldiers themselves and all, and against the generals, against Putin, against these authorities, they would go to hell. They would be the best to shoot them and live in peace. They fucking need this war and we should all suffer, or this useless money for me. Yeah, he says like... storm the centuries like they're giving out 1,900,000 now. But if they're giving out that kind of money, then there definitely aren't enough people, and our people are losing. Yeah, of course. Like in prisons, there's none left. No people here. Well, what are you gonna do, Danya? You're defending your homeland. I don't see any homeland. You know how to encrypt it. They will They will reach Moscow soon.
You know what? It seems like the soldiers are starting to even realize the reality of this war. The reality that this war is not for Russia. It is the reality of fighting for Putin and his regime. We can also see some racial discrimination inside of the Russian military because the guy is from the Far East, and supposedly this guy's commander is, for some reason, does not like this guy because he's from the Far East, which is unbelievable. Racial discrimination in military, that is crazy. But it seems like people's gears inside of their brains are starting to move. Something is happening because they're saying maybe the soldiers inside should go against their generals and go against the government and get rid of all of them, and that there will be peace and no wars. People are slowly starting to realize when they're hearing stories like this, and I really hope there's going to be a lot more of those intercepted calls, and that way a lot of people are going to be interested in the situation a little bit more, but at the same time, a lot of them are going to be afraid to speak out their minds, even inside of Russia, because they would think that somebody is listening to them, and as you know, sometimes in Russia, your phone can be listened to. And if you say something against the Russian army or the president or any government official, that is discrediting the government or the military, which can land you a hefty sentence in a Siberian gulag, which a lot of people are actually afraid of. Let's hope that this all ends. I think that the only way to end this inside of Russia is to get rid of the current government. And I doubt it would be possible doing it peacefully. It'll be impossible. There's been so many attempts doing protests inside of Russia. You know, the peaceful protests. That has not changed anything. So the only other way is doing it the other way. I'm not going to be saying too much stuff here because I don't want to fly out of that balcony right there, you know, and fall into the ground like a lot of people do in many other countries around the globe. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. And if you want to support the channel, you could check out the description. There's going to be a Patreon link. You can support me and even chat to me and see some updates that I post there as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.